I can see our attendees logging on, and I'm so excited to see everybody joining us on this beautiful day across Africa. I am based in Nairobi in Kenya, and the sun is shining, and we're so pleased to be here today. And we have, I think, fantastic guest speaker, Dr. Agnes Fasehun from SwanCape Limited in Nigeria. And of course, we have our founder and leader of Value for Her, Sabio Zito, who is based in our Nairobi, Kenya. And then, of course, myself, and sorry about the echo. So today we want to talk to all of you about some critical topics in Africa and across the continent, but not only in Africa. With the very, very challenging 2020 behind us, COVID has really taught us so much about resilience, about pivoting, and about weathering. Agnes, are you ready? Are you okay?
Yes, I am.
I'm moving around. Excellent. Yes. All right, great. So, well, as many of you are aware, at AGRA, we have been working to support women entrepreneurs in so many different ways. And we're so pleased that during the middle of last year, Sabio Zito joined AGRA, and we were able to adopt this wonderful Value for Her platform and transition it from the legacy CTA work, where it was really nurtured and developed, into the AGRA portfolio and family. And we're launching a series of really incredible webinars and training tools and talk corners, which Sabio can tell you about. And then from there, we'll go straight into our deep dive, learning from Dr. Fasehun. Incredible passionate experience. Many of you are interested in learning about it. So with that, Sabio, are you ready for us? While Sabio is getting ready, it seems that she's no longer online briefly. I would just like to share with you that in addition to this fantastic platform and network within Value for Her, we're actually within AGRA very thinking about food systems transformation. And one of the topics that Dr. Fasehun has really the opportunity to tell us about is some of the innovations that she has been working towards in her business, not just how she got here, but some of the new technologies and innovations which she has been able to adopt, which are so critical in the context of the food system. So, given the technology challenges, the deal will come in at the end, okay? I'm going to move forward. While we sort out this. So I'm very honored to introduce all of you. I'd probably need no introduction. Dr. Agnes. Now,
so you're actually breaking up.
Oh, I am. I'm
sorry. Clearly. Yes, you are.
Okay, maybe the technology challenge is on my side.
Yes, maybe. Can I just also check my own side?
Agnes, I can see and hear you very well. So would you like to introduce yourself, and we can test your audio at this time?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you and see you quite well.
Okay, so what was your question?
Great. So Agnes, can you just tell us, when you started out in banking and in your early career, Did you ever think you were going to venture out into entrepreneurship and launch yourself into the very interesting and challenging ecosystem of agricultural entrepreneurship, food systems, and food products?
Yes, of course. Good day, everybody. And I'm happy to be here. Hold on. I'm sorry, it's just the...
We can see you just fine. You look gorgeous, as always.
Thank you. All right, so thank you for that introductory question. Yes, I started off in the bank, but I actually studied veterinary medicine. And in the course of my study, that's when I started getting involved with animals and farm life. So I've always been interested in large animal medicine, which covers cattle, the farm animals basically, and horses. So that was my initial introduction, having done some practice, all internships, when running internships in on farms. So I got to love farming, the tranquility, the peace on farms. But when I started, when I went to look for a job, when I had to start working, it was not easy for me to find a job because I was very young, and as a woman, I was interested in large animals. And going to those farms, they were like, oh, you can't handle these animals, and I never got employed. So because I had done my youth service, the national youth service we do in Nigeria, I had done that in Nigerian Agricultural Bank, Agricultural and Cooperative Bank. So that took me into banking. And when I couldn't get a job as a vet on the farm, I decided to go into banking. And that's what took me to banking, and where I spent 21 years. But farm had always been on my mind. It had always been my dream, because I'd always wanted to own a farm, a ranch, where I could grow vegetables, grow livestock, have a wellness resort, and all the works on it. So that is how I found myself in the bank. And from there, I always knew I would leave to set up a farm. So 10 years ago, I left.
Yes,
Sorry.
and from your career in banking, what are the 3 skills which were the keys which you were able to use as you founded your business? You know, for the entrepreneurs that might be on the phone today who are considering changing careers or launching new companies, what are the top 3 or 4 skills that you found were most important as you made that transition from your start in banking, but with your vision always towards this food and agricultural business?
Okay, let me, since you've asked for 3, I would say 3. First was business development skills. Being in the bank, you're able to deal with a lot of businesses across board. You discuss, you have your clients, and you're able to understand their business before you can provide service. So that helped me a lot when I came out and I had to do my own business. So it helped me to be able to create my own markets and customers. The second skill was that of risk management. I was head of risk management during my career, and it also put me on the credit committee, board credit committee, and the bank credit committee for so many years. So that made me understand credit and how to approach and disburse loans, approve loans for businesses. Then the third one is the financial part, accounting. You can't be in the bank without understanding finance and accounting. So that has also helped me in keeping proper records, bookkeeping, financial management, to be able to understand my cash flows and other financial related matters. So those are the 3 I'll talk about.
It's incredible. Financial management, risk management, and business development are so critical. And I myself have been working with so many women entrepreneurs who struggle to think about risk management and not see it as a depressing factor, but really see it as an opportunity for managing their business. So here you are, Agnes, you've had this incredible banking career, and then you take the dive into your business. Tell us about the first few years, how you really got going, and where you've gotten to today. Some of the challenges you were able to overcome.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't get the beginning part of your question. Was it challenges? I didn't get that. Can you take it again?
Can you tell us about the first couple years as you started your business, some of the challenges that you encountered and how you overcame them?
All right. Okay. So thank you for that question. One of the major challenges one would encounter I encountered when I started my business, I won't take it in any order. So, but one key challenge was actually getting the right employees. Most of the time, you come across, when you're recruiting, you want the best staff, you want the best worker to hire, but they don't come cheap. They ask for possibly more than you can afford. And then those who eventually come to you possibly don't believe in you. They don't see much future in what you're doing. So they're possibly planning to use you as a stopgap and keep looking out for greener pastures. That could be very frustrating. So you're not getting the best out of your staff. So, but what we've done, or what we did, was to work really hard, keep trying to get the best, good staff. Let me not say the best, but good staff. So we worked on recruiting and also putting in place structures for the business to attract good hands. We created positions for staff. We paid good remuneration. We put different benefits in place, like pension, like health insurance. What the big companies will do that will attract them, we try to bring them in. We give them good working conditions, basically, to ensure that we can retain them. Above that, we also did a lot of training. We do a lot of training, and luckily we're a member of COLE-ACP, so they support us with a lot of training for our business, and that has helped us quite a lot. So that is one of the challenges, and how we've been able to get over that. The other challenge we had
Right, just to say that there's a
poll. This goes off. This looks like it's off. Sorry, hello?
Yeah, there's a question which just was online. It went out to everybody. They can answer while you're continuing to share, right. And then that'll go back away. Yeah, so you can answer and continue to share some of the challenges.
Okay, so I stopped my video
to make the sound come
Where
better.
do you get your market information from? Oh, okay, so
yeah, the poll, everybody can answer it, then the results will be shared. And Agnes, you can just go ahead and tell us, you were just telling us about the challenges in hiring staff and also the other challenges you were able to overcome.
All right, so that's one of the challenges. I've talked about staff, hiring the right staff. One other challenge I would want to talk about is the challenge of cash flow management. They say cash is the blood of your business. So we started off with money we thought was enough. But over the years, you find out that you keep adding, you're expanding, and you keep needing more and more funds. I started off with personal funds from my retirement money, and a lot of support from my husband. But it could only take us so far. What we do, or what we eventually had to do, was look for other sources of funding, because, as I said at the beginning, you are not a good bride for the banks as a startup. So going to the bank was not even an option for me. I needed to, create my own records, track records and performance, show performance, so that the banks can trust your business and they can lend. So we tried other sources from vendor financing, where we can get some leeway for payments. And we continued to plow back whatever we were making. We just kept on putting it back into the business to grow. I would not say it was easy, or it's not even easy now. Even as we grow, we're still having to battle to match our receivables and payables to make sure that the cash continues to move in and out of the business to solve all the problems we need. So that's for cash flow management. We also had issues of creating markets. Yes, though I told you that I had already had that exposure of having to create markets. And when I started my business, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to have products of international standards that would sit on supermarket shelves. We can still sell to individuals by other means, online and all, but the primary attraction was to put my products side by side, imported products, on the shelves. And that was a drive I got from having to pick up vegetables in the UK or in America, mostly the UK anyway, because some of the products were coming from Africa. And each time I took a pack, I wouldn't see anything from Nigeria. It really worried me, and I said, no, I have to grow products and see how I can also bring Nigerian products, especially vegetables, to the UK shelves. So that made us start to work with our own supermarkets to gain competence and be able to standardize our products to be able to match the international market. So we started by making sure our products were of international standards. But before we started getting the supermarkets to take our products, we were already growing. Vegetables. And we found out we had to carry them from one market to the other. So for me, I would say, create your market, have your market before you produce, so that you don't run the risk of losing your products. We had some of those issues, but we quickly sorted it out. And over the years, we've been able to keep acquiring more and more shops and restaurants and other outlets that will take our products. We also have...
To summarize, if I just summarize quickly, it sounds like you really struggled to get the right people, to get your cash flow to be stabilized, to get the markets to be competitive with other markets, products from the other origins. So you really had to overcome so much. And one of the questions for you to share with all of the fantastic partners and entrepreneurs online, what did you use as a resource? Who did you use as a resource to be able to address this challenge?
Sorry?
Where did you go? Yeah, who were your resources? Where did you go to overcome all these challenges with staffing and cash flow and markets and competitiveness? Okay. Who are your resources for overcoming these?
Okay, we were able to get, first of all, we looked at networking, looking for where we can find relevant solutions. And we found solutions from a couple of, first, even though I had some of the experience, but I wanted to go to where I would meet people with like minds and like problems. One of the places I went to was the Entrepreneurship Development Center, which is a part of the Lagos Business School. I ran this, it's called the SEM program for entrepreneurship. I was part of that program, and we had a lot of resources from financial experts to also strategic and all that. But in addition to that, we developed more networks. Like I said, we joined the COLEACP. COLEACP had this very good program for African farmers, to a program called Fit for Market. So there were a lot of training opportunities there. And a couple of other networks. We are part of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce. We are part of Awan Africa, which is an agribusiness group for women. Also, the AWIF, a South Africa group for women, is also an African network for women in business, and a couple of other networks that we have. So those are the resources we worked with. And I do a lot of online research, a lot of online reading to support.
That's really great. It's great to hear all the resources and the networks and the work that you've done. We did a quick poll to the audience asking everybody where you get your market information, and 44% responded through digital resources, 39% responded through buyers and sellers of your commodities, and 14% said families, and 4% only from women's associations. It's interesting to compare with others. Now, just one more question, and then I think we're going to have audience questions as well. Very sorry for the bad sound. I just wonder, Agnes, if you were going to start all over and you advise yourself, how would you do things differently?
Sorry?
If you were to start your business all over again, what would you advise yourself to do differently the next time?
Okay. What I'd advise myself to do differently would be to be fearless, to be more confident, to be a bit more I would advise myself to be more confident in taking bolder steps, to not to be put down on, sometimes with what we with in agribusiness especially, there's so much gender bias, there's so much pressure on being a woman and being able to follow through on the activities of the business. So I would say to any young person, or to myself again, this is actually what I've already done, but I may need to do it in a better manner, which is like, just keep watching your products, concentrate more on, I want to be able to get some of the, putting your product quality in place on top at the beginning. That's basically what I would say.
I love the first statement you said, to be fearless. Really, that's a fantastic vision for so many entrepreneurs. And there are many, many entrepreneurs from around Africa online. And we have a few questions that are coming in, but I really want to encourage all of you who are on the phone or calling in from your workplaces to share your questions and experiences. One question that came through was for you, Agnes, when you recruited your first team, and
Sorry?
some of them were not aligned. When you had your first staff members and they weren't necessarily aligned with you, how did you deal with your employees when they weren't necessarily going in the direction you wanted them to go in?
Okay, I would say that was tough, but what I kept on doing was first, like I said, was training. We had our vision, our mission, and values. So I would make that very clear to them that this is the vision. But a lot of them would still possibly just think, oh, these are dreams, wild dreams. But I did not lose focus. I kept on talking. We kept on training. We held meetings, regular meetings, to keep understanding why we're in the position, why we're in that business, and what our expectations and goals were.
That's great. Great to hear that worked. There's one other question here about how do you link to women farmers and how do you help developing rural women when your business is, you know, in the middle of the supply chain and reaching on the market side? How do you organize the rural women?
Okay, what we do, we have quite a number of rural women we work with. Some are in our neighborhood. So we buy up their products, but while buying up their products, we, from time to time, put them through what kind of management practices we expect and how they can produce products to the standards that we want. So we encourage them and also open up opportunities for them to get inputs, and whatever problems they have, we can discuss with them and solve those problems with them. And then we buy their products off them.
That's excellent. And so the suppliers that you've built over time, have you been able to grow that network of suppliers? And do you see that as an area that's an opportunity or more of a challenge in terms of, you know, being in the very competitive food business that you're in?
It's a great opportunity we see there. We are building and we keep adding more. But over time, what we are looking at putting in place is to put a structured outgrower scheme in place where we can work, have proper commitments with them and work with more. That will give us a wider spread of suppliers.
That's fantastic. So given what happened in 2020 with COVID, right? Everybody had to adjust their businesses to go more virtual, more digital. How did you manage to cope in the context of increased health and safety risk for your staff, but also in disruptions in transport and logistics?
Yes, yeah, okay. During the COVID pandemic, we're still in it, but basically during the lockdown, we had to really sit back to reassess our position, reassess what was going on. But luckily, we were already in the digital space. We had our website, we had all the social media accounts, and we were already selling to individuals online and delivering. For our supermarkets, that was not a big challenge because we just kept doing deliveries as we had done. But for our individual customers, because we supply homes as well, what we had to do was just increase our ability to meet their demands because people were locked down and they were home. We had to engage more logistics initially we were running it ourselves, but at this point we had to outsource to other logistic providers to be able to do deliveries for us. And we also looked inward. We looked at our staff. How could they get to work? Some of them, those who were living in places where it was more difficult to go through a lot of barriers because the lockdown had military and all security agencies on the streets. They were not allowed to move easily. So we had to get permits and all for our staff to be able to move around. And over and above that, we also had to ensure that our staff we were COVID policy compliant. We had to ensure we were following all the procedures, masking up, observing social distancing, washing and sanitizing, which we got our clients to know that these were all the policies and all what we've put in place to ensure that their products were safe, our staff was safe, and the business was going to continue to run and provide all the services that we promise.
Congratulations. I mean, that's just a huge effort, and we're aware of so many businesses who've struggled incredibly. One of the participants online, by the way, has no question, just she wanted you to know that you've been a fantastic mentor to her, and she appreciates your mentorship. So for those of you who are listening and wondering if Agnes is really for real, Dr. Agnes has online verification.
Thank you.
One of the questions that's come through is on financing. What do you recommend for entrepreneurs who are struggling getting financing from banks, do you go to external supplies, investors? Do you work with friends and family? What do you recommend?
I would recommend that when you start with your own funds, if you have. If you don't, you can't be an entrepreneur without having some savings, first of all. So you start with yours, add friends and family if you can. But there's some areas, like in Nigeria today, there are quite a lot of support from government and a lot of development agencies as well. If you build your business properly, you may be able to be attractive for grants, because if you go straight to the bank, it may be an issue for you if you don't have proper track records and enough experience on your business to be able to get good funding. But that does not mean you can't go to the banks. Today, there are a lot of funds available for women, so I think the banks have also stepped down their requirements, and you are able to access finance from banks, from agencies, and a lot of funds coming from government support for SMEs and also women.
That's great to hear that there's such support from the government. And in our poll, which is live right now, we don't have government support as an option, but it's good to know that that's been really a huge part of the support to you. As it stands right now, there's equal attribution from the respondents to the poll, who are receiving support from investors, family network, and local savings and credit. You'll be surprised to learn that the banks are the lowest, only at 9 or 10%. So we're coming towards the end. Agnes, I think, sorry, my sound.
Sorry, you're breaking up.
Yeah. Is there any last recommendation that you have for the entrepreneurs online about technology solutions, equipment investments? How are you looking at technology around packaging, on digital, even in terms of food processing and testing? What are your favorite technology solutions, and what are your views on using technology?
Yes, that's one thing that I find that is quite key in business today. we have to move in. One has to be technology savvy. You have technology makes things easier for you, and it can open up markets for you faster. For us at SwanCape, in production, we grow in greenhouses. We use, even though we also grow in the open field, but we grow in greenhouses. We also use drip irrigation, which helps the environment, controls the use of water. We also, in packaging, we also embrace technology using various equipment to improve what we're doing. We are still working on getting more equipment, especially for sorting and cleaning, because some of those things are still pretty manual. But you must appreciate in vegetable production, because we have so many crops, so many produce that we sell. Each one is handled differently. So you most likely, if you're going into so much automation, a lot of those produce would need different kind of equipment to manage them. But those are what we're looking at for our future plans to scale up our business and move forward in what we're doing. Other parts of technology, which is very critical, and I must say one should ensure we all embrace, is technology for networking, which is your digital space. And that comes to like also what Value for Her is trying to achieve with women, so that we can all come to that workspace and interact and exchange, sell our businesses, sell our produce to each other, or exchange ideas and all that to grow our businesses. So technology is quite key and very, very, very important.
It's so impressive what you're describing. Yeah, you've done so much. You're using the leading technology on drip irrigation and greenhouses and pack houses. I mean, it's very, very impressive. I think the last question is, what do you think governments can do to help small women entrepreneurs and larger women-run businesses on the continent to grow? What are the regulatory or what supports the government provide that will help you even more?
Okay, I think government should continue to provide funding, special funding with very low interest rates, because if you go to the regular banks, interest rates are high. So if government would, through the central bank and other Bank of Industry, Bank of Agri, provide low interest rate loans for women, that would be a very big help. I think they should also government should also encourage and support women's network. Women, they should be able to come up with programs that will bring women together, to be able to share ideas, to be able for training. There are a lot of bodies available today, like the Export Promotion Council and various other government establishments. They should actually have special programs for women. Today we have, like more general programs, but there should be more special programs for women training, more training opportunities. And also, more than anything, I think government should also we should put in place some structures that can give, demonstrations, where women can go and see live production and processing facilities in the various value chain that we run. I think those are some of the things that government should be able to put in place for women to do better.
Great. So training, special funding.
Sorry?
Go ahead.
Yes.
Just summarizing. Yeah, go ahead.
The AFTA, that is the African Continental Free Trade Area, it's up now. I think there should be special mention and special facilities for women to be able to thrive in that intercontinent marketing within the continent, so that we can get our produce across other countries within Africa. So there should be a special mention, a special products or special opportunities for women in that, because it will help women businesses a lot.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's really important. So just to summarize, the poll summarized the results about COVID impacts on all of your business. 11% of you closed temporarily. 18% of you had to reduce your workforce. 50% of you lost revenue, and 20% lost suppliers and markets. So that's only with about a third, 40% of you having responded. So we'll take the poll down, and Agnes, I really want to thank you for your fantastic thought leadership, your contribution. It's wonderful to support you, all the women who you've been mentoring. And I'd like to ask Sabdio to come and talk with you just at the end here about Value for Her.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we can't wait to see how your business grows and evolves in the coming year as we evolve out of COVID. And we know that the opportunities in the growth in the market in Nigeria is tremendous. And we hope to see you trading all around West Africa with the new African Continental Free Trade Area. So wonderful, wonderful to hear your story. I'm clapping on behalf of all of our participants. Sabdio, are you able to join now and tell us about how this Talking Corner and Value for Her are going to roll out this year? The technology is challenging us today. Sabdio, are you with us?
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you now.
Yes, I am trying. I am on, but I'm not sure whether I'm hard. Good, good, good. Thank you very much, Vanessa, and thank you very much, Agnes, for that inspiring story. I hope that the participants have been inspired by your story and they have learned from your experiences, particularly in how to take a business from one level to another. I just want to speak briefly about Value for Her and the talk corner that we just initiated today. So Value for Her is Africa's women agribusiness companies digital marketplace. So what we are doing is we are bringing women companies together from across the continent. And right now we have representation from 27 countries. We have about 750 businesses registered on the platform. The idea, of course, is to assist women businesses to grow and to scale through the different channels or through the different levels of growth. And Agnes has just spoken to us about how she managed to grow her business from one level to another. And so the Value for Her platform is a business graduation, business growth support resource. And we hope to catalyze that trajectory for women businesses that are registered, and we welcome all of the women agribusinesses on the continent to join this platform, because women will benefit a lot from each other, but you'll benefit a lot also from the market when there is numbers, when there are more women businesses on the platform. Now, the Talk Corner is a feature of the platform, and the idea is, of course, to share experiences of women that have already walked the journey, and this is what Agnes has done today. She has shared with us how she started, how she scaled, what are some of the challenges, where did she find the resources to be able to lead her business towards growth. So we also encourage more and more women to really join, and please feel free to write to us to tell us that you would like to speak in one of the talk corners because you have a unique, inspiring story to share with the rest of the businesses, women businesses. Now, what I would like to also say is, of course, as AGRA, we really would like to scale the services of this digital marketplace, and there will be series of other activities that will be linked to this platform. So the platform, beyond growing women's businesses and assisting women to access the services they need through this platform, we are also going to really transition it to become their platform that changes the landscape for women in agribusiness on the continent. So my call is to women businesses, but also to our development partners and to the private sector companies that are in agribusiness in Africa, the investors that are looking for businesses to invest in. We are preparing women for this kind of connections. So we welcome you to join us also in this journey as we assist women to transition their businesses from one level to another. We will be having this talk corner once a month. So every once a month, we will position one business, and the business leader, the woman business leader, will be speaking to the rest of the women businesses, but also to all of us. So again, I welcome you to look out for the announcements from the Value for Her platform for the talk corner, and also the webinars that are going to come up from this platform. I thank you so much for joining us today. I know we had some issues with the audio, but I hope that we'll be able to perfect this going forward, and subsequent talk corners and subsequent webinars will certainly be much better because we will improve also on the digital side of things. So I thank you very much, and over to you, Vanessa.
Thank you so much, Sabdio, and thank you all for your continued engagement. We've had the fourth poll live, and just to give you the voting and to see how it's showing up, 46 of you turned to social media to reach your markets. Not surprising, I'm doing the same thing as you all. 27% adopted cost-saving measures, 22% of you had safety protocols that kept your businesses going, and 5% of you had to suspend operations. So thank you to our technology team for keeping us going through all of this. We can take the poll down. I really want to appreciate all of our attendees. We had as many as 120 participants joining throughout this session. This is really an excellent turnout for this first Talking Corner of 2021. Dr. Agnes Fasehun, I bow to you with your fantastic and vibrant stories, and there's a lot of people I think who will reach out to you subsequent to this, and hopefully we can share many more experiences. We're also very, very excited to be launching capacity building for women entrepreneurs this year, and so you'll hear from us about this very, very soon. So with that, again, thank you so much to everyone, and our apologies on our technical glitches and terrible sound today. I personally probably on my end, but this is COVID times, we all have it. So thank you again. Have a wonderful afternoon, lunchtime, or wherever you're joining us from, early morning for some of you. That's it for today, and we'll be back very soon, and hope bring your friends. We want to see at least 3 times as many of you. Bring 2, 3, 4 friends to our next session. Thank you again. Dr. Agnes, do you want to give us a final vote of thank you? Oops, you have to unmute, sorry. You probably muted, which was a good thing, but now you have to unmute in order to give us your final thanks and goodbyes.
Yes. Okay.
There you
So you can hear me now. Hello.
We hear you well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can hear me. Okay. Thank you. I really want to say thank you so much to the Value for Her program and AGRA. It came to me as a new year, let me say, surprise, inviting me to be part of this Talk Corner. And I've embraced it as a good opportunity to set the tone for the year and for our future. I appreciate the invitation, and for our guests that joined us, I thank you for joining. Thank you for listening, and I wish everyone, all we women in business, in agribusiness especially, success in all that we are in our endeavors. And I'll just say that we should go out there being fearless, create fantastic products that will capture any market. We should go out to create huge corporations. It's been, I always say, it's somehow, I don't like to hear when they say, oh, small businesses, and when they say small businesses, they're calling women. Women should also be called when they're talking about great corporations and big businesses. So we should all work towards that. We should embrace technology, look at all the best options and best ways of doing things, of doing business to get us to our final destinations. Thank you.
Thank you, and goodbye to everybody. We'll see you all soon. Thank you so much.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.